So tell me a little bit about yourself and your music.
I'm Vetrone. I am 22 years old. I'm a blues rock singer-songwriter. I'm really influenced by the 60s and 70s. I play my original songs with a guitarist usually, sometimes a drummer, and I'm in a 60s tribute band.
So what is it like being a singer-songwriter?
Well, it's great because the singing part is always great because I love it, and that's like when I'm most myself is when I'm on stage, but the songwriting is kind of challenging because I get inspired by a lot of things, but it's really hard when everything like strikes at the right moment and everything comes together, and I can only take a song so far. If it's not working out, I just like discard it. So that kind of gets frustrating, but it's also like it's difficult. Like, you're booking gigs all the time and you're promoting and you're trying to get people to play with you and trying to get people to come out and see you, and it's not fun to play to like an empty room, but if you love it as much as I do, it's not that bad because it doesn't matter who's in the room. So it's a mix. Like I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
So what instruments do you play?
My main instrument is the piano, but I really only use it to write, and if I'm just like playing around on it at home. I'm trying to learn the guitar. I'm not getting any better at it. I'm convinced that my hands are too small to like do anything about that. I'm kind of able to play the harmonica because I took harmonica lessons, but it's kind of hard to practice because you can only like breathe in and out for so long without feeling like you're gonna pass out. So that's kind of like stagnant. And I am an expert tambourine player.
Obviously, your musical influence is from past artists, but what current musicians do you listen to?
Obviously Adele. I love Lady Gaga like so much. Hosier and Leon Bridges is really good because he's a real throwback. And then of course like Beyonce.
So is your family musical?
My grandpa was. He could always sing. He didn't play anything as far as I know, but he always had a really nice voice, and he's the one who would play Bobby Darin and the Rat Pack and Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday for me when I was really young, so that kind of stuck with me. But nobody else is. My aunt likes to say she is, but she's not. Don't tell her that. But I mean, they all love music, but none of them are really musical.
Since you've started singing, has your musical style changed?
I think that's kind of a two-part thing, because singing, definitely, you realize what you're capable of, you learn how to do different things with your voice and what works where, so yeah, definitely, that's just a learning process. And then in terms of songwriting, like, I've always listened to older music, but I've also, was really influenced by more current stuff when I started songwriting, so my earlier stuff is probably more pop oriented, but always had like a soul tinge to it. But then once I learned more about like the blues and was more influenced by that, I kind of like learned that there was a name for my style, so it went more in that direction. So yeah, it's definitely an evolution.
So what are your songs about? Are there any specific themes that they cover?
That's a good question. So I always joke that my songs are all about alcohol, and anybody listening must think I have a drinking problem. I do. No, I think they're actually kind of, I sing the blues, so like, yeah, you expect them to be sad, but I am like the least sad person in this world, so that's kind of like an interesting, contradiction, I guess. Each song is about something different, like you'd have to go through and ask which one each is about. There are a few themes of like, loneliness and being done wrong and revenge, which is like a weird thing to write about. I guess, no, it's not, but for me it is because I'm not like a vengeful person. but you get to like explore different sides of your personality and your feelings in your songs. So yeah, there are certain themes because a lot of them are about like a certain situation in my life, but they're all pretty different.
What image do you think your music conveys?
Image? Like
Message.
message. I don't know. I've
like-
never been asked that before. I mean, each song like has a different message. Some of them are like really desperate sounding, and some of them are really like imaginative. And some of them are nostalgic, and then some of them are just like really depressing. So I think it depends on the song, but I think a lot of people have heard some songs that I've written and been like, where did that come from? Because you're like 22 years old, and what experience do you have with that? But that's a part of songwriting, I think. Like, if a song's really dramatic, for example, or has like an image that's not something you would expect, like if we're gonna get into specifics here, like Johnny Walker is a song about like this drug addict, like alcoholic guy, and no, I don't have experience with that, but that's just like a combination of different guys in my life who I just kind of molded them into this like imaginary horrible person, and like in a hyperbolic way express my feelings about like not being able to get away from that toxic relationship and then finally overcoming it, but like through poisoning him. Like, it's not something that actually happened, or else I wouldn't be here, I'd be in jail. So it's a different message for every song, and you can't take anything too seriously or too literally, but I think they express more universal themes.
Do you feel pressure to conform to the standards of today's pop music?
There's definitely pressure there, because I think there's always a battle between, like selling out or staying like true to your own like creative instincts, and you kind of have to strike a balance between commercial and what you want to do, and maybe those things align and maybe they don't, but they certainly like don't right now for me. Like, I'm not inspired really by much that's out today, and I think everything's very electronic, and I'm not willing to go that route. And even the people that aren't, like, there's a lot of girls with guitars singing really like quiet songs, and that's not me, and I'm never gonna be like that. Like, and maybe, that means I'll never get signed because that's not what people are looking for now, but I don't think it would be worth it to change, to become like everybody else, because, I mean, what's the point of doing that? Like, there's no, I make music because I like to make music, and I like what's coming out of me. I can listen to music if I like what's coming out of somebody else. Like, I don't have to change.
What is your favorite show that you've ever played?
The Venetian, Just 60s would play at the beach huts over summer. So there was one night, and we played at the Venetian Shores in Lindenhurst, and it's outside, and everyone is dancing and like drunk and having so much fun. And I remember like this one woman did not stop dancing the entire time, and like my whole family was there and they were dancing, and I just like had the best time. And half of the time, like, I have nothing to do because they're like guy songs, so I just like play the tambourine, so I would go out and dance with the audience. Like, that was really fun. But I think my favorite of all time was Dix Hills. We played Dix Hills last year on my birthday, and that was my first big show officially with the band, and it's like a beautiful theater, and again, my whole family was there, my best friends were there, and it was really cool because it was my mom's birthday too, and it was like my, coming out as a member of Just 60s. So it was so much fun.
What is your favorite song to perform?
Me and Bobby McGee.
What is your favorite song that you've ever written before?
It's not lightning if I'm not going fast. I think Johnny Walker.
Who is your favorite artist of all time?
The Beatles.
What is your favorite song of all time?
That's the hardest question in the world. But since it's tattooed on me, I feel like I have to say Let It Be.